Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chairs, the Rise podcast, and today, oh shit, you won't believe it. I got Gunnar here, all the way from Austria, and this dude's an archaeologist, and he is the shit. Man, he goes and tries to find the forbidden archaeology and stuff that hasn't been discovered, and finding out that some of these tombs and ancient structures have acoustics and hits like different vibrations, and he's just making awesome discoveries. I love his independent research. He's been on our show 3 years ago. It's been a long time since we had him on. So Gunnar, what's new? How you been?
Yeah, hello everybody. I've been fine. Yeah, and it's true. It's been a long time since we were talking, and yeah, many things happened. Even my research, I changed a little bit direction,
Oh, okay.
not intentionally, it's
Oh,
just something that happened. And yeah, I can tell you some
yeah,
things
please.
about what I did last year,
Yeah,
especially
please do.
last year. There's You know, we were talking about these resonance chambers once ago and ancient structures, like you said now.
Hmm.
Uh, for now, I'm more concentrated on local history, and there's an old castle ruin here in my home area.
Oh,
And this is where I spend most of my time now in researching, especially since a few years ago we found out that the connection from the old days, let's say 900 plus years in the past, is leading to the Knights Templar.
oh shit. Okay.
Oh, yes. And this is a topic here in Austria, which they always wanted to hide.
Uh-huh.
The
Okay.
existence of Knights Templars here in Austria and all these things connected. But since a sword was found
Oh,
almost 120 years ago in this castle, yeah,
yeah.
and it ended up in the museum, but in the archive. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
not on display.
Oh, because it's like forbidden
And
archaeology almost, huh?
it's almost, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
forbidden like this anymore, but yeah, it was really great to go after this. And we went there and had a look onto the sword to really see it for ourselves. And there are really nice carvings on it, Templar symbols and stuff. And we could even manage that now it is on display in the museum.
Huh.
And they even mention that this is an old sword of Knights Templars from the 12th century. So it's
Hmm.
quite old.
Right. Right.
And yeah, I just continued working on this topic. There is also a group of people taking care that these castle ruins are not falling apart any further, let's say. We're not
Hmm.
rebuilding the whole stuff, but we take care that at least what's here now will remain and hopefully soon can be visited again from people.
Yeah,
And
it's
especially
important.
this year, it's very important. Yeah, it's historically important for our
Yeah.
area, for the whole area here in Austria, for Central Europe, actually, since it goes so far back in time, in regards of the Knights Templar. And this year, this summer especially, I spent almost 3.5 months constantly uh, on this castle. I was like living there almost.
Oh, okay.
I was sleeping there. I had my
Oh,
nights
cool.
there, and it was real great time.
Oh, I bet.
And when you are on this place, like real boots on the ground,
Hmm.
some different kind of information pops into your mind. I spent countless hours alone sitting on the campfire, just me and my mind and my whatsoever connection to my own universe. And it went further and further and further, and I found out many interesting things. Again, in regards of the Knights Templars, that this here wasn't just a castle like we know, for protecting things or hiding things or for defense. It was an educational center from the Knights Templar in regards of this old stuff they still knew. And then you can go back again to the times of Atlantis, if you like, you know, with all the knowledge the Knights Templars were
Yep.
still working with. And especially there's one tower which is situated outside of the castle itself. And this piece took my focus fully, you know. I can't now show you pictures. I can show you a
Yeah, please do.
drawing
Yeah.
from this tower, you know.
Holy shit.
This,
It's
the
huge.
whole tower is it's huge, you know. It's about 16 meters height from the outside level, you know.
Wow.
Still, it's
That's an
reaching 6 or 7 meters more into the ground.
wow.
There again, it's getting interesting. You know, we've been
Yeah.
talking about resonance chambers. You know,
Yes, yes.
this whole tower is just made out of stone. You know,
What kind of
we
stone
are
is it?
talking about granite.
Granite. Oh
This
shit.
is all granite. Yeah, and we are talking about dimensions here. The wall is 5 meter 30 on each side. You know, so
Wow.
this is real interesting stuff when you even take a look on the energetics, you know, all in regards of granite, the quartz inside, things we
Oh
know
yeah,
today,
quartz. Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and all the properties and qualities of the quartz crystal and
Yep.
whatever you can do with it, you know, consciously or electricity and all these things, what this material is capable of. And this is very interesting architecture.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. We even made a documentary this year. I still need to translate this into English so I can also broadcast this for English speaking public, you know, since we made
Right,
it in
right.
German. This is what's gonna happen next 1 or 2 months. I hope I can finish this. And then you can have a look on the tower, you know, and still it is so much work to do since we
Yeah.
found out more and more and more. You know, all this is pretty actually pretty accurate, this
Yeah.
drawing. This is the landscape, you know, this is the normal
Yep.
soil around, you know.
And there's trees on top, is
In the
that right?
times, yeah, it was covered in trees completely. The whole castle was
Holy
covered in
shit.
trees. You know,
That's
it's like
awesome.
you could take a walk there and you pass it by and you
Oh,
don't
you
even
wouldn't even
see it.
know? Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. You know what?
And then we
Those
found out,
I was gonna say those it kind of reminds me of Malta, of how when it's dug underground, how the chambers are kind of going down and down, further and further, and they're all connecting. That is amazing.
yeah, and meanwhile we found something even more interesting in addition to this tower. This tower was additionally surrounded by two extra walls, you know, like circular. One was a circular wall, and I will show this again here
Yeah.
quickly. This is where the entrance is, you know. So today you climb up some ladder here that you can
Uh-huh.
enter. This is a height around 4 meters, you know. So this is where you enter the tower, and the first ring, which was running around this tower, was at this height, you know,
Right.
with a distance, let's say 2 meters away from the tower itself.
Wow.
And there was water in between, you know. So
Oh,
this tower was actually standing in water.
that's amazing. Okay. So this is
And yeah,
purposely, you think it was purposely made that way to catch the
for
water?
sure,
Okay.
yeah. We need to find out now if we are talking even about salt water.
Hmm. Okay.
You know, there are these stories you might know from the Grand Gallery in the Big Pyramid in
Yep.
Egypt. They,
Yep.
they found a layer of crystalline salt
Yep. They
on the
did.
walls, you know.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
I also found something on the stones outside of the tower, you know. I just need to have it analyzed, everything to be really sure if this is another layer of quartz crystal or if this could be the same as in the Great Pyramid. And therefore, you know, it's mind blowing.
That is
What
fucking
did they
mind
do?
blowing.
You know,
Oh my God.
you can step into all these things energetically now, like this organ energy and all these things connected to electricity, free electricity, and all the
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
And this is really mind blowing for me right now. And
That
this is
is.
the main reason why I can't focus on anything else than this.
I don't blame you. That's a big discovery, dude. Especially
Oh yeah.
again, I feel like a lot of these things, a lot of these big buildings, they're mysterious. They don't even have any carvings of some sort of who claims the building as their own. Kind of like the pyramids. They don't have any hieroglyphs because a lot of this stuff was just made to harness energy and power. And they're even thinking using the Nile, the water going and using like a hydraulic pump that kind of starts the vibrations of
Hmm.
and they're all on. Could this be on a ley line too? You think this building could lay
Yes.
on a ley line?
Yeah. It is. It is
Oh, there we
definitely.
go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Since I'm into this kind of research since 20 years now, also
Hmm.
in regards of ley lines and stuff like this, I already know. And I'm not just doing this by myself. I've got lots of friends,
Yes.
geomancers and stuff, people who are coming here, taking a visit, making their own testings, talking with me about their way of how they see things, and we know so many more things already about this whole structure. It's just such a huge amount of work still to do to document everything, to make further testings, and then how this works. It takes years almost to finish this job. We need to dig, we need to find more things, and there's still so much more to say about the tower itself.
Hmm.
And that we're just talking about one tower, There is a remaining part of an older castle, only a few hundred meters away from there, which was totally taken away. It didn't erode by itself. They dismantled the whole stuff and even created other buildings from this material, from this castle, which is not there anymore.
Hmm.
And I found out more things, especially in my area, that whole buildings, whole castles have been demolished.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's incredible, in our area where people think, let's say, 1,000 years ago it was just forest. It, I just know that this is not the truth.
That's insane. I was gonna share this too. We have kind of like what you said, like why isn't the public taking this seriously? But we have this
Mm-hmm.
crazy stone monument that has been carved into by Native Americans, and there's no other rock structure in the area that looks like this, and it's very mysterious, and it's been around uh, forever. But they have weird carvings. I don't know if we can get close, but they got a lot of crazy shit going on in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, it's on somebody's private property, and no one can go see it. There's just a lot of older pictures. But you can
Mm-hmm.
see like how it's been just carved into, kind of like the Sphinx, and other
Mm-hmm.
stuff up here. I don't know what that is, but very mysterious. You think this would be kind of open to the public, but this is like one of the modern. I think someone snuck up on the property to take pictures of what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's very curious why they kind of pushed this one aside and not have it kind of opened up to be like a public park for others to maybe research this monument that's been carved in by Native Americans here. It's a weird stories. They're like, why isn't it? And why is it on private property where no one can get at it unless you're trying to sneak up on it? But no,
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's is a treasure trove for ancient monuments. We have underwater pyramids. We have 10 of them in Rock Lake near Lake Mills. There's a guy named Frank Joseph who wrote two books. He's an archaeologist, and he actually goes scuba diving
Mm-hmm.
into these lakes. And I think I have a picture of. They're kind of unique looking. Here it is. So this guy in the 70s went scuba diving and drew what he saw down there.
Mm-hmm.
They're elongated pyramids. And
Okay.
then when the first American settlers came to America and into Wisconsin, they were poking out of the water, the tips of them. And they were asking the Native Americans, what are these? And they were saying that they're the stone teepees of the ancient ones that they didn't even know about because they're underwater, you know. And I don't know if you knew this, that Wisconsin was one of the last states to have the glacier over the ice age. We're the last little ice cap that melted on the state here. And there's this, it makes you wonder, like, was this built before the ice age? You know, how we get all our lakes, you know, we have here. And again, very mysterious shit. And this little, it goes on and on. And then
Yeah.
we have this hotspot called it's called Dundee Mountain. It's in a town called Dundee, and that has huge reports of UFOs flying and hovering over this mountain for hundreds of years. Even the Native Americans called this mountain Spirit Hill. So, because there is so much weird phenomenon happening. Do you notice if there's any weird phenomenon in some of these sites that you go to?
It's a little bit tricky since they also deleted all the natives and all the stories we had or
Mm,
we had further back in time. You know, this was actually one of the first reasons why I started doing this kind of research in first place, because I don't believe that there was no other culture here. Meanwhile, we know, we have
right.
stories about this Danube civilization or Vinci culture, whatever you want to call it, and there are enough signs that there was also another past than we know. But Central Europe is actually totally fucked up when it comes down to history
Mm,
because we have no one from the old people, from the old tribes to ask anymore.
yeah,
What happened here was, yeah, burning the witches and Inquisition and all this stuff, hundreds and hundreds of years. Burning the books, taking everything away which could point towards any civilization or culture
my God.
before. And it's a little bit sad
It
somehow,
is
yeah,
sad.
that we
It is
don't have
sad.
we don't have these sources, to go to and have a look.
Right.
But I'm sure that there was something, and at least the stone remembers. You know my philosophy about stones and how I get
Yeah.
my type of information out of the stone,
Hmm.
and the stone remembers. And more people are also stepping into this kind of research or into this kind of interest. And the field is growing. We know so many things. Since the last few years, we learned so much about morphic fields and also resonance chambers and all these acoustics and everything and how things are connected. We just started learning these things all over the world, all over the planet, on all the big sites also. In my
Mm,
area, these are small sites, yeah, but I
yeah.
know most of them are cover-ups or built upon older places for sure, and we have
Yeah.
so many of them.
Man. Again, it's sad that the history is lost. You think it was the Knights Templar too, at the same time, kind of eradicating only certain things, or I know they're almost responsible for the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant
Mm.
of moving stuff. I even heard that even the Knights Templar even like sailed overseas into Canada. You ever heard of like
Yeah, yeah.
the Oak?
Not just this. There is this lady, Dr. Kathleen N. Ball. She's writing books about this topic that the Knights Templars were going to South America.
Mm,
And that there is
oh
a
my
central
God.
cave in Brazil. You need to talk with this lady. This is real great research.
Oh
She's
wow.
really
Yeah.
doing great. Yeah, you need to connect. I will send
Please do.
you
Thank
her
you.
contact. Yeah,
Cool.
I think she will be happy to talk with you. She's also from America,
Mm,
and
cool. Okay.
still, yeah, we didn't make it. That we meet in person. She's also going to Europe at least once or twice per year to
Okay.
Portugal. To the where there are still Knights Templars.
Oh,
And these
cool.
people also know things about this.
Oh,
It's
cool.
just again, we just don't have enough time. The day is
No,
not long enough, and the distances in between are a little bit too big, even for me here to go to Portugal. It's
sure.
a while to check all these things. But everyone's doing a great job on his own side,
Yes,
and
independent
more and
research.
more we connect what we find out, and it's mind blowing. And here in Austria, it's also very interesting. We know that in the 1300s, they started taking these Knights Templars away, you know,
Yeah.
almost over whole Europe. But here in Austria, they found refuge. You know, Austria did not join the hunt for the Knights Templars in the 1300s.
Oh, okay.
So I'm also asking, what kind of power did little Austria have back then
Yeah.
to stand up against the King of France and the Pope?
Wow.
Why did this happen? Why is this that these people could just hide here in the area where I am allowed to do my research and stumble over these things? Yeah, like I said, this kind of box is just reopened now. We don't know enough yet.
And I'm so glad people like you are making the story stay alive and have people's minds opened up a little bit. Like our history is not what it is today. I mean, how they explained it today. You know what I'm saying? They're missing so much other shit. And yeah, I'm all about like finding our old cultures and missing cultures. 'Cause, again, they're very important to all of us. And there's, again, especially when you found that sword in that one spot where you think they weren't prevalent, and there they
Yeah.
were. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, huh? Or even like the guy, was it Homer that went to to Atlantis and wrote about it? You know, like someone who actually touched it and actually saw it with their own two eyes. And I love about one of my favorite archaeologists is the guy who found Troy, and I love how he
Hmm.
took Homer's Iliad from the Bible and took the words literally. And there he went and found it. He adored his
Hmm.
wife with all the jewelry he found there and shit. But again, what else can we find in our ancient writings and holy books that could steer us to stuff that we haven't discovered yet? You know, especially you.
Hmm.
Like I feel like Europe is so rich with ancient. They've been digging into the ground forever. You know what I'm saying? like,
Hmm.
I look at Malta. Maybe they claimed that the
Hmm.
giants were the ones making these things, but again, these people needed protection in some sort of way because they thought I don't know if it was the end of the world or some shit, but they had fucking livestock underground, and it was again like what you
Hmm.
saw with that castle. It had like different rooms and chambers to go down to different rooms, and same. It just in my mind, it looked like the how Malta is all mapped out. But again, we're all thousands of tons of stone that you're digging out, and you look at their toolbox, you see dental floss and chicken bones, and you're like, what the fuck? you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. Especially also here in Europe, we still have things where we can take a look into. We have all the script forms. You can go to runic writing for one part, but
Mhm.
you can also go to another script one which was used almost 400 years in the last 400 years. Before now, all this Reformation started again, and it's a writing form called Kurrent in German. And I started learning this
Huh.
since I don't want to be, I don't want to be in the need of translation. You know,
Right.
I can show you some, it doesn't matter what's written there. It's just my practicing sheet of paper, you know.
Wow, you got good handwriting.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Oh
I
my
like
god.
it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And this,
Mine looks like a kindergartner.
these are things where I can still get in touch with some documents, from the old times. And what, like I said, almost 400 years from now towards the past, this kind of script form was used in different versions. There are several different versions, but still, it's very interesting for me to again be able to read this by myself. I don't need to rely on translation. And we have books over books. We have the world's biggest Christian library is in Austria.
Is it really? Holy
It's
shit.
fucking 14 million books. Oh, and no one on this planet has any idea what is written inside of these
No,
14
they
million
don't.
books.
No.
Yeah. And this is just one library. It's not that we don't have anything anymore. They burned down big libraries. Yeah, we know Zimbabwe and we know all these Alexandria stories. But there's still lots of stuff. But since they constantly change the script forms, and there is a reformation for this and then that, we are not able to read this anymore. And this is an easy way to hide things.
Hmm.
People just not able to read this stuff anymore.
Right.
So there is a chance on many, many levels to gain back sorts of information.
Right.
And this is what we do. And this is, meanwhile, I'm giving basic courses, that people start learning to read this stuff again. Because someone might have a diary, from her grandmother written in this current.
Oh
And no
yeah.
one's able to read this, So all these stories from local people, this is all we have, there are no natives here in Europe like we know it from other areas on this planet.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
But there is still a story. Someone always wrote something, this is what we have to go after. Part of my work. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Again, I love how you're just again keeping all these stories alive, and the fact that you teach other people who are very interested to do the same thing. And yeah, dude, I fucking love it. So it's a lot of stuff that you find too in Latin, because I think Latin was pretty prevalent in Europe. Uh,
Yeah, I'm not really able to read Latin by myself,
hmm.
and I think it's not the most important language if it comes to old things, because there are, again, wrong translations and
Oh,
things
sure.
they didn't even translate, or put into Latin. I,
Okay.
I prefer to stay on this because I am here in a very good position where I live. My dialect, my German dialect, is one of the oldest
Yes.
we have, and
Cool.
it connects back to this Indo-Germanic right speech,
Yes.
language.
You know,
And
I find that German language is probably the best way of describing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example,
mm,
Schadenfreude is,
mm,
in an American, it's like you you get joy out of someone else's misery. But I just like the fact that Americans uses that word because they're not going to change it because it's so simple. And I think Eric von Daniken even mentions this too. Like the best way to explain this type of shit is in German. Like it's because it's so
mm,
the German language is so detailed, and like one word can mean so much. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it's just powerful. So I am jealous to the European languages.
Yeah, there was this story, back then when everything changed, also over in the Americas, and they were start to talk about what's gonna be the next world language. Is it going to be English or German?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
And they somehow tricked it, yeah, to make it English. It's
Bastards.
for me, it's very clear why, because here in Europe you can cover a very big area with the German language and
Sure.
all these other versions which derive from the German language.
Sure.
If you want to keep secrets, it's better to take a completely new language, and
Oh.
English is made after German. It was invented
Yeah.
also in connection with the German language.
Yes.
So German again is older, and especially the dialect. And
Sure.
even if I take this kind of dialect I talk, if I would take a look what kind of area any type of this dialect is used, it's huge. And then you need to go back again to older times, also this Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Mm.
Austria was quite big back then. We had influence to so many other countries, also with this script form. I can even write in English. It doesn't matter. You know,
Hmm.
you just need to learn the alphabet and how these letters look like. It's funny enough for me because if I want to hide a secret and I use this old script form and I write in English, your mind is gonna be blown because no one here would be able to read this. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
awesome.
the story continues. We can still hide things if we like to.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. Oh, that's what the Native
Yeah.
American, what the Native Americans here don't tell much about their culture to the outsiders, especially when it comes to star people and the
Mm,
Kachinas and all that stuff. No, I find that because I feel like the white man has taken everything from them. but they can't take what their religions and stories have been told from their ancestors passed down.
Mm.
You know, yeah, you got to keep some of the cultures in your culture and some some secrecy in some sense to keep I don't know justice and I don't know civilization. It's crazy, but no, I think
For me,
you
it's
said.
sometimes
I'm sorry.
for me it's sometimes about not keeping anything as a secret, but to have the chance that I can continue my research a little bit more peaceful. You know, if
Yeah.
I would just publish every little thing I find, you know,
Mm,
too many people would start to be interested. So
yeah.
I keep it below the radar.
Hmm.
And when something is really finished, I will write about this or make a documentary and then I put it out. And this
That's
is
so cool.
also another reason why it takes time. You know,
Hmm.
what's a year in this kind of research? It's almost nothing. And there are so many people, like we were laughing before, that I didn't talk to Daniel for 1.5 years now. You know, there are so
Hmm.
many other friends of mine who are doing great research. You might remember Richard Gabriel with the story Beneath the Giza Plateau and everything. I
Yeah.
didn't even talk to him either, you know, because there's
Wow.
no time. I'm not, I don't know what he's up to, you know, but
Mm.
this is okay as long as I
Yeah.
know that everyone keeps doing
Yes.
their stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, and again, I just love giving you a platform on my podcast to share your stories and share your research because I think again, it's so important. All these new discoveries and uh, just kind of rewriting history and looking at history a little bit differently that were taught in schools. Because I thought it was pretty baffling that I found out more ancient shit outside of school doing my own research than what I thought what the history teachers would teach us about the state that we live in that is so rich in ancient culture. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? I find that so much more
Mm.
interesting. Again, like you said, you're comfortable being in Austria because you're surrounded by all this cool stuff that no one's really talking about, and you're again
Mm.
keeping it alive. And I hats off to you, man. I support you and I love what you do. It's so fun. And the fact that, like, I was on that marathon you guys did. You guys did like an 11-hour
Yeah,
marathon. And I was part of that. I was so
yeah,
honored to be a part of that. And that was so
yeah.
cool. Like, you get all this community around the world to start thinking and opening up their eyes. And no, it's beautiful. That's what I love. I love connecting, and again, I love how you're out there in the field because there's just some people who just sit on the
Mm.
computer and just I'm doing my research, but like you're shoving yourself down holes. We're going to chambers. We're playing music down there and get the frequency, and yeah, you've got to think like some of these chambers that have the frequency rooms. They must have like it echoes throughout the whole place, where almost like an enchantment
Mm.
hypnotic. You know, can you imagine?
Yeah, this again is connected to these chambers here in this tower in Castle Falkenstein.
Okay.
Because you again you have acoustic properties which are quite interesting, you know.
Yes.
But I something else popped into my mind. I just right
Yeah,
back
please. Yeah,
here
yeah. Please.
because there is something very interesting what I stumbled over in my research about this castle here, you know. And since Europe is Europe, you know, but
Hmm.
many people moved to America from here. You
Okay.
know,
Yep.
many people in America have roots here in Austria, Germany, or elsewhere. You know,
Yep. Hmm.
and in my research around this castle, Falkenstein here, I stumbled over a book written by a guy called Robert H. Vickers. You
Okay.
know, I don't know if any one of you knows this guy. You know,
No, I like to know more
this
about him.
book still, yeah. Now I will draw a nice smile on your face, my friend. Look where this, look where this book resides.
Oh, that's shit. I should go look at it. I know
So,
where that library is too. Yeah, that's funny shit.
yeah, you know, it's interesting enough that this guy, not the author, but
Uh,
the guy one of the main characters in this book. This guy is called Savish von Falkenstein. Yeah,
okay. Hmm.
he's the great grandson of the guy who was the owner of the Sword of the Knights Templars.
Oh shit. Okay.
And this book is written in English, you know.
Yeah.
So someone in the Americas, was writing about this great grandson of the Knights Templar who was maybe building this castle where I researched. So this is how I like to connect things. Maybe someone of your people, from your audience, knows anything or wants to go deeper. I just took this is like PDF,
Yeah.
You can find this easily on internet and you can read this because it's in English. Great story, by the way.
Oh, great. It's so funny that it had this Madison, Wisconsin stamp on there. That is so dope. And then it's that small
And
connection there. It's great.
we can really freely tell the people this moment now was not planned, because
It
not
wasn't.
even I remembered that this resides in Wisconsin,
That's so funny. I
This is
love
how
it.
I love. This is yeah, this synchronicities are great.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's always possible that someone might watch what we are talking about. Someone might have some kind of connection. Someone might know anything. Please contact Dustin or please contact me directly. You know, this is
Yes.
what is part of our work. We need to connect all these people. It's not about me. I'm just doing my job here.
You're very
We need
humble.
to
Let me tell
connect
you that.
more and more people into this. And
Yes.
there is something, maybe your great grandfather was from here, and maybe there's still some connection. You can find out anything.
Well, I
This
do
is
have
what
some
I
German
like.
in me, so
I think
my
so many people do, so many
yeah,
people. It's
my
not so
great
long ago, First World War, even Second World War, so many people moved over to America.
yeah. I got some German, Poland, and Sicilian. It's kind of funny there. My
You're like my
German
uncle
and
mixed up.
Italian families were beating up my Polish. Oh,
Yeah, this
crazy.
is great stuff. This is why I also think you like to do this kind of podcast because I'm sure that this type of synchronicity happens more often to you,
Yes, it does
and it's
actually.
just great. You
It
know,
is. It's
I'm sure someone will stumble over this and say, "Wow, really? I would like to look into this." And
yeah.
then we connect. We keep doing our work together.
Yes. No, it's funny how again you said that these weird connections happen almost frequently. It's like scary. It's almost like what is this? Almost like I think you too. I think we manifest our own destiny. We put ourselves
Hmm.
in this area of what we're interested in, and all this stuff comes left and right. And people who are interested in like want to like, or they live curiously by through you. You know what I'm saying? Like people watch you from afar just because they admire your energy, the fact that you're on the boots on the ground, getting dirty, and that's what people like to see. Like no one wants to see a guy who's just behind the fucking computer just talking shit. And no, that's why I admire and I was dying to have you on for the longest time because like I'm pretty sure you're doing some newer stuff and you did like that again that newer castle with the chambers and how tall it is and like the fact that you had to get up on a ladder to get up on top of that ridge to get into it even shows that like these people were trying they're probably trying to keep certain people out. So amazing. I was gonna show you.
And
I,
there's
I,
still so much more, about this experience I had this year. And now it's
mhm.
like, yeah, you showed me this
Oh,
stuff.
did I show you this?
I
Yeah.
was I was never so involved in any kind of research in regards of UFOs or stuff like this.
Hmm.
But this summer, it was the first time for myself that I have seen with my own eyes something
Oh,
where I have no explanation for.
okay,
And
good.
it's just great. I'm not going to step into this kind of research because I just don't have time.
Sure,
But I
sure.
like it. I like
Yeah,
that these things are also getting more and more connected now.
yeah. All of it's connected, man. Again, this is my personal collection of Kachina dolls that are from the Hopi Indians in Arizona, and then they have the stories of these 200 gods that are like robotic astronaut-like beings that taught them agriculture, mathematics, and other traits, and promised one day to return. But again, The fact that it started a cargo cult where the natives started carving these to give to their children because these things did promise one day to return. And if
Mm.
like they're there, some of them are kind of terrifying. Like a kid, like holy shit! I'm like, oh, I've been playing with you since I was a kid, you know. But no,
Yeah, but meanwhile, I really think in regards of these people returning back,
yes,
that we might allow ourselves to really think about that a special type of consciousness is coming back. Not
yes,
in any physical form, like also these old teachings from souls and stuff like this.
mm,
You can find more and more and more real great stuff even on YouTube about the teachings, about
yes,
people who are talking about these teachings, and we are stepping into another level of consciousness. And we don't, maybe we are getting prepared also for this first contact, but we hear about this stuff since 20 years now, and some of us are waiting, you
yeah.
know?
The
Uh,
slow drip of disclosure. Yeah, no. Have you seen the trailer for uh Steven Spielberg's new movie that's coming out called Disclosure Day?
no?
Oh, it's very. I should send you the link to it.
Okay.
It is
Send me a
so
link,
gnarly.
yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty gnarly. Like how I think he's starting to crack the code and maybe talking to some whistleblowers making that movie. So I don't know. It makes it really awesome. 'Cause I don't know if you saw his old movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The old
Oh,
old
yeah.
movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm guessing he talked to some whistleblowers, and then I think even uh, um, J. Allen Hynek did a little cameo in that movie too. He comes up with this pipe. And too bad Eric Von Daniken recently died too. Did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm also in contact with his fellows. I know, yeah. It was time for him to go. But
Yeah,
he did a
not
great job his whole life. What should we say? How many
exactly.
people were triggered just because he wrote his books?
It triggered me. I haven't read. Check this out. I haven't read like in high school. I read only a handful of books, but I haven't like read any books after high school until happened to run to Eric Von Daniken's Chairs of the Gods, and I read that front to back. I was just like, "Oh my God, you read a book!" Yes, but no, it's the drive of the subject matter got me full blast on the subject, and
Mm,
I was very thankful for him. For me, I feel like I'm kind of like following the footsteps of some of these people. I love how Eric's more into the archaeology of the past too. That's why I think maybe you and him could relate more too. Of like, there's more to this. There's so much, and like, what
mm,
tools? There's like, doesn't your mind get blown? You see these like granite blocks getting carved out into chambers by you. What kind of tools were they using? How much energy does it really take? Who had the charisma to keep going to make this thing? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like
yeah.
even the pyramids too. You have to think, what healthy slave are you whipping on the back to drag 80-ton boulders across 20 miles of different terrains? That's fucking stack them up on top of
Mm,
each other. Especially if you mess up on the bottom, it's going to be all messed up on top. So everything's got to be so precise. I'm not saying aliens did do this, but I'm saying aliens were there side by side, or at least my opinion, side by side with these people, giving them technology, even knowledge of using magnetic or even vibrations to uh, just move shit so easily at ease. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? There's a guy here. I actually got a book. You might have heard about this guy here in America, Coral Castle. You ever heard of this?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Edward Leeds Cullen. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this guy. He even wrote a book saying that he knew the secrets of the Egyptians. I'm like, what?
Mm,
And he had some weird machinery in the basement of this stuff, and he only worked at night and only alone. And sometimes he only
mm.
had like a pulley that had this mysterious box on top that made everything like light as a feather. And this dude's a little
Mm.
scrawny old man. And he made this for a woman that he was in love with, and the woman rejected him.
Mm,
So it's even a sadder story. But again, it's just like it seems like some of these people have the secrets of the world and it is die or something like Tesla too. Like that guy was making so much awesome discoveries of how there's so much energy just around us that we can use. He was putting light bulbs in the ground, making them light up and shit. And like he had this gigantic tower that he could almost power the whole world if he wanted to. Like what?
Mm.
So it's just it's amazing. So much. I love how I don't know. Maybe I love it the mysterious about it because it makes us think even more that what's really going on. What's in this reality? You know.
Mm.
So
Yeah, but it's so great that there are still people on this planet, and also, yeah, Eric, he had to go. But
yeah,
I can remember that years ago, there were still some people always saying, yeah, he's a little weirdo and stuff like this.
yeah, yeah,
I was really happy to see some of the things that popped out on Facebook in regards of his death, that they paid lots of real great respect to this man,
hmm
you know,
yeah,
because you can think whatever. You don't have to believe everything he said or think the same way. But he really triggered many, many people. He triggered lots of different research on the planet. And in my opinion, he was a great guy.
yeah, yeah. No, I think, and again, he wrote a book about how he knew the Egyptians did the stuff that they were doing, and it's just like the fact that
Mm.
maybe uh, he was trying to get the secrets out or get the knowledge out, but then maybe again the government pushes stuff to the back and says, "Hey, we're having that," just the secrets of the gods. That's why I like the Tower of Babel. You remember that one from the Bible where all the men
Yeah.
and were working together to build this gigantic tower where God was sitting in the clouds, but God is like has this petty human emotion of I'm jealous. I don't like my creation being like me, want to be like me. So like everybody sleeps at night. I'm gonna have them speak all different languages and be pissed at each other where now I could continue building. And that's where we get our languages, apparently. But yeah, it's just so funny to hear these stories and petty emotions from gods, and it's funny.
It always causes new thoughts, especially when you say these things with new languages. We all should know, at least when we're a little bit involved into this kind of research, who
Yep.
was the inventor of all these languages. It
Yes.
it delivered. So, and many years ago, I started having a conversation with a fellow researcher from Russia, and I said to him, I think the guy we know as this Egyptian god Thoth is
Yep.
what the Catholic Church sold us as Lucifer.
Oh shit. Okay.
And he wrote a great, great work about this because he was very intrigued about this thought, and I still believe this to be true,
Yeah.
so that we don't look into the teachings of Thoth or Hermes, whatever you
Yeah.
might,
It's like
Enoch, whatever you.
Yeah, no, God gave Lucifer a bad name when he came to Earth. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
even if you look at some of the stuff that Lucifer was doing for the humans, he was giving knowledge to the humans, and even the Greek gods talk about Prometheus doing the same thing,
yeah,
saying like "fuck you
yeah.
guys, I'm gonna like give humans the rights to do and build and you know procreate and yeah,
Mm,
it's so weird, ain't it? Like how these gods have all these weird human emotions that they have wars with each other, disagreements, and
mm.
yeah, what's really steering it? What's going on here on Earth? Is it like a Zootopia where like they're just watching from a distance and watching us kind of destroy each other and laughing at it, or maybe I have no idea what
Mm.
the agenda is. But again, it makes you have to think and makes you.
Yeah,
That's why I love being open minded, man. I just love this all these theories because you never know which way it's gonna go, and I love
mm.
hearing your theories on how the archaeologists or archaeology around your area has a lot of secrets and other. Again, I think the acoustic part is very, very important because I think music is a
Mm.
worldwide language, even
Oh yeah,
interstellar language. If we even interact with extraterrestrials, I think music, we can all come together as like, oh, okay, or we can speak a language. Even like the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They used lights and the keyboard, and the UFO would do the same thing, so I think that's beautiful in a sense. I think when Daniel got to interview Eric von Daniken, He actually mentioned if you think that extraterrestrials play music or have music as entertainment. He even said, yes, I think so too. I think that's
Um,
in every culture and in even different species, you know? I think that's beautiful.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine a while ago, and we just had this weird idea, asking one question: how many songs are there on the planet?
My
You know,
mind, boom,
what?
boom.
Yeah, and what would this life be like without any kind of music? You
Oh,
know,
dude,
I
I
think
would
we
not
would
know.
all say, okay, let's end the game. It doesn't make any fun anymore. Interesting enough that so many of my research colleagues are also into music, you know, being a
Yes.
musician, playing
Me
instruments and
too.
stuff. This is,
I'm an
yeah,
artist. I used to be in a band. And same with Daniel. I thought me and him
yeah,
have that correlation of music. Do you play music? Obviously, you play the guitar and other instruments. Yeah.
guitar and drums and yeah, stuff
Oh,
like that.
cool. Cool.
Everything
That's awesome.
since well, I would say 35 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, at least I know from by myself that I would be a total different person if I would not ever have this connection to music, which I have.
Yes.
I'm actually sure I wouldn't make it up to being 50 years now on this planet
Oh,
without music. You know,
yeah.
I think I would quit the game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
still, so many great music pops out, you know, and saves my life from time to time.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. Or just throwing on the right song that changes your mood, like this,
Mm.
or even like relaxing music just to, meditate or sleep. Yeah, dude, I think music is so important in our culture, and it's even like it's almost like peace. Like even two countries who are going at it can like agree on a certain song they might like together. You know what I'm saying? Like only if that guy they knew they were killing him was an artist that they both really love. Like man, would I really kill that guy? We could have sat and jammed out to some or even played music together. Just it's so crazy that we are at this weird spot in time where I hope to God something big happens where a wake up call for humans on Earth. 7 billion of us,
Mm.
even if it's archaeology. Or check this out. What do you think about the pyramids of the new discovery of the winding pillars, the 8 winding pillars?
I'm very careful about these things, you
Mm-hmm.
know, since I have my connection, especially to Richard and some other people who are also doing boots on the ground research there. Some of these things are quite okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff is plain bullshit. So
Okay.
I stepped back since they really started pushing this a little bit. I'm not saying that it is not true, you know. I know that
Sure.
there is something maybe even more important than this below ground in Giza. It's just not my kind of research, and I'm not an expert in this field. And
Sure.
I can only say, yo, I believe this and this I don't. You know,
Sure. Sure.
there are other
No, I just
people
wondered what
doing
you
their
might have
job.
heard
It's
if.
great.
Yeah.
I followed this a while, you know, and I've had my conversations, especially with Richard, about this topic. I'm so happy actually that there is something big going on also down in Egypt, you know,
Yes.
because most of the people on the planet are having this in their focal point as
Yeah.
being one of the biggest ancient sites on the planet.
Yes.
And it will be like a wave, you know, like when you drop a little stone into the water. The ripples will reach all the other destinations, all the other places on the planet once in a while.
Yeah.
And therefore it's great, you know, to stir it up.
Yeah. It'd be really cool to have you go down to Pumupunku. You ever heard of this place? Where they have these
Oh yeah.
stone H blocks and like the diamond cuts and like the drill holes and stuff like that. And I love that story. How even Eric Von Daniken tells the story of like Pumapunku of like gods come down in one night, and that's what the natives say that they came down in one night and built this place. And then they had a kind of like an archaeology center, basically, where they were doing these extraterrestrials might have been doing research. But after they left, they destroyed it because they didn't want any other natives to have an upper hand on other natives around that area because Yeah. But again, there's monuments to Pumapunku from the natives there too. So it's just like, whoa. Again, this all this stuff that's been way older. It just has so much more crazy cuts and weight of stone. I'm saying, like, even in the ancient times, you could take a like 100-pound stone and it'll last a million years in that same spot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but
let's do the most
since
back-breaking work where scientists and mathematic people are like, what the fuck? How do they do this?
since you now touched this topic, Pumapunku is very special place.
It is.
And you remember our podcast marathon when Matt was there and we talked about this ancient concrete stuff.
Yep.
We didn't really have enough time to touch the topic of Pumapunku, but I was talking about the book from Professor Joseph Davidovich,
Hmm.
this French chemist who restarted researching this material of ancient concrete. And I will send you a video. You can find this on YouTube. It's a 1 hour video where he's talking about as Joseph Davidovich is talking about his own research in Pumapunku. He
Oh,
was
cool.
examining these stones, with his approach. He's not an archaeologist, he's a chemist.
Okay.
And he said what I believe since a very long time that these stones are not cut, it's all cast.
Huh.
And what really blew my mind the most, you know, he said, especially when it comes to these H blocks and stuff like this,
Yeah.
they with their own analysis, they he would say these stones were made 1,400 years ago. So what
Wow.
kind of fucking timeline are we talking about? If
Yeah.
he's a scientist, I will send you this video because you
Yeah,
will
please
be
do.
blown. He's really explaining how this is possible, what kind of mixture this is, and all these stones. He really did a great job, and this society still exists. You know, the Geopolymer Society in France. No one from these archaeologists is interested to take a look at what these people. I think now it's run by his son.
Huh?
He continues the work of his father. No one dares to take a look. I showed you this book back then. I still have it here, from Professor Davidovich. It's from the 70s, where he started explaining that even the pyramids are made of artificial stone,
Oh
not
shit.
not
Well, then it makes more sense how they were
quarried.
built. To tell you the truth, they
Oh
just built
yeah,
it right
it
on the
does.
spot with melt or just pouring the artificial cement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh
really,
shit.
also for all the people out there who are interested in this kind of topic, you can just go to YouTube and search for Professor Joseph Davidovich. You
Okay.
will find a ton of videos. Some of them, in English, some in French, few of them in German. But you can really dive into this topic if you are interested. And he's talking about this since a very fucking long time. So this is what I like, that this is also interdisciplinary. You go to some total other topics. Like I said, he's a chemist. He's not in first place interested in historical background or archaeology.
And I think people more like him should go to these areas because they have different eyes and how they are viewing the world and how they're taking this information in. And if it comes out to what
Mm.
their other people are coming out with, it's just like, yes, okay, the connections are all there. Oh, dude, that's so
Yeah,
awesome.
today
Yeah.
today we have different technical stuff also for testing these things. To find something out about the material than we had 40 years ago. So we should also use the technical stuff and go there, you know,
Yes.
and,
Hmm.
and have a look about the properties or whatever we can find out is good. And I'm not surprised if we will find out more and more that it comes down to frequency.
Yes, I believe so. Because I again like that Coral Castle. This guy had a machine in the basement. I don't know if that
Mm,
helped the magnetic field or the vibrations in the area where just kind of like whatever boxes on that tripod that he had just by himself
mm,
was making everything just light as feathers. You're right. And even there's I don't know if how you much get into the how the I like this. The Nazis to me are kind of like sci-fi-ish. To me, they're so mysterious of how they were scouring the earth for ancient relics and even maybe reverse
Mm,
engineering. But they were talking like they're all about this anti-gravity. They're trying to
mm,
harness the energy around the earth. That makes this just even more mysterious. Again, this the sci-fi-ness of it. You know what I'm saying? Like how they're just
mm.
like going to Tibet to find the hollow earth, going down the South Pole with 3 expeditions and calling it New Schwabia or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, it's just like someone had the drive to find all these ancient relics. It's just it's sci-fi-ish. It's almost unreal. It's like a movie. But no, it's makes you wonder. Makes you wonder.
Yeah, but it's true, Also here in my area, from time to time, I also stumble over people from the past who, in these times, they were working for the Germans, And after this,
Hmm.
he was again like working in a museum. But
Yes.
they had access to very different kind of information back then, in
Yes.
these Nazi times, whatsoever. I'm
Yep.
very careful since I'm living in Austria, what I'm gonna say about this.
Sure.
My belief is quite different than the official version. It doesn't matter. But I again stumble over things, drawings, like I said in the beginning about the tower and the circular walls around the tower.
Yes.
There is only one old text from an old song, let's say 800 years ago, which is talking about these extra walls around the tower.
Huh.
And then there is one drawing from a historian who was working in the next bigger city here in my area in Linz. And he's one of them who was working for the Nazis before, and later on he continued working here in this museum. And
Huh.
he made a drawing about this castle, and he also drew two circular, almost circular walls around the tower, which you
Huh.
can't fucking see there. You can't see this on old pictures. The last 200 years, no one was talking about this. So, what kind of information did he have, which I can't reach right now?
Huh.
This is the story always continues, and all the truth pops out after a while. We are living in a special time for this, I'm
Yes.
sure. And
Yes.
we will shed a light on many, many, many things which we were maybe not allowed to take a deeper look even a few years ago.
That is crazy. And man, it's just endless. I just feel like there's going to be more stuff popping out in the future. I think there's more technology. We have these drones now that we can like scan.
Mm,
We're here in actually I went to a lecture here in down at the UW here in Madison of all this new technology that they're using to find all the Native American mounds that are on private property, but they natives have the right to those mounds and claim it as their property. There's just certain laws
mhm,
like that because we took so much from them. So, yeah, they're just talking about all this new technology they're using to scan the grounds and uh, again, just to hear what they're doing and the motivation of these people who are getting involved of reclaiming their culture, and these
mm.
burial sites of their ancestors and stuff. So I think again, just we're gonna find more new shit with new drones, new things that go underwater. Um, Man, and I think you're at it at a perfect time in history. I think you're making a name for yourself, and a lot of people know you. People work with you. People want to work with you, and I think people live vicariously through the internet. It's like, man, this guy is the shit. He's going out there
Mhm.
doing the shit, and you're very likable, lovable, man. I love your energy. I love your style and your family orientated. I think your kids might even fall into your footsteps one of these days. I think you make such an impact with everybody else. I think uh, your kids are going to pick up your notes and start where you left off. So that's why
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of us are doing.
hopefully,
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
hopefully, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, I think we made it to about an hour. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm very, very thankful that you came onto the show today and share some new knowledge of what you discovered over there. And I hope I get some more people to follow you on my channel. And I'd love to have you back. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now since I'm not residing on this castle anymore,
Yeah.
at least not during winter, I was
Yeah.
really there almost 4 months, almost every day. And now I take a little bit more time. Yeah, I got a nice present half a year ago, actually, a nice new computer from a friend of mine. I didn't even really
Oh,
start this
nice.
piece. Oh yeah, it's real. He's one of these guys, setting up computers for others and also for himself. And there were some leftovers. You know, I could say this now is a computer which might cost you $4,000 or $5,000,
Huh?
and I didn't really use it. Still, we'll see. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm back on track also in English version. This is another point. I was doing so much now in my research in old, and everything is in German here, and
Yep.
I needed to publish things. I didn't even have time to do lots of stuff in English. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, people can hit
I would be.
the the captions and they can just read it too, if anything.
Mhm.
But no,
Yeah,
it's so
okay.
cool though. I know some German people or German speaking people here in America. So
Mhm.
yeah, no, I like to throw some people your way and have them follow you. Do you have a website or do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, we have our YouTube channel. I can send you these links also to this Cargo Academy. There are even some videos in English, and I
Hmm.
think I sent you one of my written works about my former research. This is
Yes.
also in English. You can pass it on to your people. This is free of charge for everyone. And yeah, like I said, there will be more stuff also in English being published coming a year, I would say.
Sweet. Well, that's so awesome. I'm so excited. And thank you so much again for being on the show. And yeah, I'd like to have you back.
Yeah, I will be back. Many thanks, Dustin, for this really nice evening.
Thank you. Well, hey, stay with
Also
me for
for
two.
me, you don't even have an evening now,
Yeah, right. I got the
I'm
whole
ahead of
afternoon
your
still.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, stay
bye
with
for now.
yeah, stay with me for 2 more minutes.